All right, let's start now. All right, I think everybody's back. Um, so what we are talking about is, how do you enroll before you explain? Acha, let me click the record button to record on cloud. Perfect. This is working. What we're going to do now is we'll start with Subhish's speech. Again, if what I want you to understand, that's the reason we created the win sheet, if you remember, Shweta, so that you click on that. I also, in your journal, I want you to write down every point that you learn about, not only the public speaking point of view, but how the coaching point that everybody's getting. All right. Okay, since Subhish is not come here, would you like to start, Shweta? Unmute yourself. Unmute.
Bishal, is it okay? I'll join from my mobile to give
Okay.
to give the speech because I have some lighting issue today.
All right, sure. That's not a problem. Absolutely. Is that your account, Confident Shweta, that I can see?
Yes.
Okay. So Shweta, do you want to start now or you need some time? Are you ready? So Subhish, we are going with Shweta's and then I'll come to you. Is that okay with you, Subhish? Okay, perfect. All right, Shweta, are you ready? All right, let's start. Acha, by the way, first talk to us. What's your topic that you have chosen?
A perfect groom.
Perfect groom. Okay. Can you hear her properly? Because is the volume a little down?
Now
Volume is
it's okay.
now it's better. Yeah. Don't go too far. Yeah.
Is it fine now?
It's fine. It's fine. Yes, Shweta, go on.
Recently, last week, my aunt came to our place and she was really very frustrated and a little bit tensed also. So I asked her, what happened to you? Why you're so tensed? And she said, can you please talk to Sampurna? Sampurna is my cousin. We are looking a perfect groom for her. But all the boys we bring in, she just rejects each and every boy. I really don't understand what exactly she needs. I gave her assurance that definitely I'll talk to her. Next day, I went to their home and we just started little chit chat with each other. So I asked Sampurna, what kind of boy you're looking for, if you don't mind asking me? She said, Dee, he should be polite, he should be nice, and have good sense of humor. He should be handsome, tall, dashing. And I said, you want a Netflix series, I guess. And she just busted into laugh. She said, exactly, that's what I want. And but talking to her made me realize and took me back into the memory lane in 2007 when my parents were searching a perfect groom for me. I also had a long list. He should be like this, he should be like this. But in the perfect list, my parents was having a very short list. And every time, whenever a boy comes to meet me or see me, either he is not matching the criteria, either he is not postgraduate, either he is just graduate, either he's not earning properly, or our thoughts are not matching with each other, or our horoscope was not matching. And like this, almost 2 years passed away. Then I thought, let me cut down my list now. So I made my perfect groom long list to little short. Now, again, I was thinking, what's happening? Where is this perfect groom? I can find. And God was really happy that I have reduced my list. And Sutan appeared from a very thin air. We got married. And then I really wanted to make this perfect relationship now. So, what should I do? So, I just brought a book, Man from Mars and Women from Venus. I really wanted to understand each and everything about men, how they think, how they behave, what kind of attention they need, everything. I was going through book very focused way. And whenever, after few months, I realized women are from Venus, but Sutan is definitely not from us. He was a person who was totally opposite. When I gave him a food, packed food, he was saying, why you are troubling yourself so much? It's okay, I can have it from canteen. And when I don't give him any food, why didn't you give me any food today, yaar? I stayed hungry whole day. When I'm watching some video, something in the TV, what you're watching all the time, all saas bahut drama. Next, when I don't watch TV with him, he will, what, you're always sitting, you're not watching, you're not giving company to me, whatever I watch, you don't like it. When I'm driving, he is a complete instructor. Right, left, and always making fun of my right left, as all the women can relate here, because my right is always take right, take right. So I'm very bad with the right. But the year passed away, and I realized how this beautiful marriage has come. Now, after spending 13 years with him, I don't mind he telling me anything, whether I'm giving him food or criticizing me or making fun of me. What I felt in these 13 years, this wedding ring is just like a small handbag, but not for any crime. To get more closer to each other and give you the perfect spice of the relationship. So it doesn't matter whether you got a perfect groom or didn't get a perfect groom. You can always make that groom perfect. That's for sure. So next time, whenever you, as a young Anindita, you are the youngest here. So it will be my advice to you. It doesn't matter how the person is, but he should be a great friend to you. He should always be there for you in your bads and in your goods. And that's what makes a relationship so beautiful and so perfect. And you can always make your groom perfect. Thank you, everyone.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Okay, let's hear from Anindita. So Anindita, what did you like about Shweta's speech? And just 2 points that you like, and one or two areas that you think she could improve upon or
Okay.
do better.
So
Yeah.
Shweta, your speech was wonderful. Like audience was full time engaged, though like your voice was at times feeble. Like I was just putting my ears like this and trying to listen, like whatever you were saying, because it was like interesting points were coming up, like to which we can relate maybe day to day basis. So two things which I liked about your speeches. First is good hand gestures, and the way you the flow of your speech was like you kept all the audience intact and you had proper eye contact with the audience. So that was a very good point about your speech, like the hand gestures and your connection throughout the speech was really good with the audience. And one thing I would like to tell you, like where you can improve, I only noticed one thing, like
Sure.
some of your pronunciations, like man, you were not pronouncing it properly. Maybe some of the words you
Yeah.
can go through your speech again and maybe look into the pronunciation more, and then maybe you can rectify with your coming forward speeches. So that's the
Right.
only point I noticed. Else it was
Sure.
very good, wonderful speech.
Very
Thank you
nice.
so
Very
much,
nice.
Anindita. Thank
Great.
you so much.
Great.
Thank you.
Let's hear Anindita, if I may ask you one question. You know Shweta for the last before joining Elite Transformation Mastermind. I think you met her when the speakathon started, right?
Yeah,
You might
yeah.
have so 4 5 5 months or so. When you first saw her speeches, to overall now, what are the top three differences do you see in Shweta as a speaker, as a communicator overall? Can you share?
Okay. Differences, like I would say, earlier, if I see Shweta's speech, she was more of a robot kind of. Like it was sounding bit more of a robot kind of a thing, but now it has bettered to a lot of to a great extent, I would say. Like now it's more flexible and you are sounding more humanly, so the
Hmm.
connection builds up there.
Right.
Yeah, I
And
completely agree.
yeah, and hand gestures has improved dramatically, and also your connection has improved dramatically.
Right. So she is not, you said that word, robotic anymore. She hand gestures are better and connection is better. These 3 points,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So Shweta, what do you think about this? We'll come to the speech. What do you think about these 3 points that Anita just mentioned about the improvement points that
Uh,
you've made? Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with Anandita, and it was a care front fronter kind of feedback. But yes, as I always tell you, I was struggling too much with my voice modulation. So because of that, it must have sound robotic, and hand gestures is also correct, because recently I was looking a video of a very renowned speaker, and she was mostly moving her hand like this, and I just so noticed, and I didn't, it's not a criticism about other, but what I was thinking, oh my god, I used to do the same thing, that my hand always used to roam like this only. She would have done this, she would have
Yeah.
done this. So I was analyzing that thing with my progress, what how I am going now, how I
Right.
used to do. So it was like that. So I completely agree, and yes, this time for the very first time tried to bring up with a humorous speech, because
Mm.
I am very scared of humor. I feel like I am not able to be come up
Right.
with a humorous speech. I've never tried. So this time I thought, let me just come up with a humorous speech and let's see how it works.
Right. That's amazing. How's your speech panel discussion that you are going to be leading, you are invited as a guest? Did that get delayed for a week? I think
Yes,
it
it's
was
on
on first.
8th of October, and
Okay.
they will be sending a detailed agenda, like which speaker will be speaking first and how it will be. So
Right.
yesterday
Right.
only I made a call to them, and they
Hmm.
told like we will be sending you a detailed agenda, so no need to worry. Overall, it will be a 1 hour session, and I think if it is 1 hour session, then it will be almost 10 minutes each, because
Each
five
panelist.
speaker, yes, each panelist,
Right. So which
average
college
on
is
an
that
average.
again? Which college
It's
is that you have?
ABSC.
Mhm.
It's
It's
in
from Ghaziabad.
Ghaziabad. Yeah, it's in Ghaziabad.
So you're invited to speak there. Awesome. How's that preparation going based on what we spoke about last week?
Yeah, I'm trying to implement all the suggestions which you have given to me, and I'm just waiting for them so that I can share my final speech with you and discuss with
Right.
you.
Right. Okay, very good. About your speech, well done. I think the technical issue was the echo from the phone that generally happens. That can be solved. Um, Overall, in the speech, I think there are some. Your speech message was clear. When you are moving from part of the story to another, so I was having this discussion too. Then you and Sutanu. So there are different phases. Give a verbal and visual pause when you're moving from one phase of a story to another. Okay. um, Verbal and visual pause. So this happened, this sister, blah blah blah, this happened. And you know what, then I started thinking about my life. See what I just did, I just moved a bit visually. Did you see? I talk about it here, then I say, then I start thinking about my life. So it gives a subconscious thing that it's a different phase. You're not just physically moving like that, because the art is in hiding the art. You do it very subtly. I start thinking about my life, and I read the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, or Women Are From Venus, whatever. um, when I read that book and I made my list, and then you're moving on. So the story has to be done in such a manner that people understand you're going from chapter to chapter. I'm sure you have seen, Shweta, sometimes, people write book where the chapter is not finishing, right? All the writer has to do is just put chapter 1 and chapter 2 in between all the big chapters. So in storytelling, one small thing happened, then you move on. Make sure people understand that you're going to a different phase and a different chapter within the same story. Are you clear about what I'm saying? Are you getting it?
Yes, Vishal,
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
Right, that's first thing. Second, a few small pronunciation, right, pointers that you should that you can consider. So a couple of minutes ago, when you were giving feedback to Yusuf or Anand, you said elaborate, right? It's elaborate. Elaborate. Yesterday you said I and dash had a discussion or did not have a discussion. You wrote in the WhatsApp. When you talk about two people, and if you are involved, the other person's name has to come first. So it can never be I and Anindita had a discussion. It's wrong. It should be Anindita and I had a discussion. So grammatically, I can never be in the front of an and. Are you getting it? So it's Anindita and I, not I and Anindita ever. Clear? If you see you posted on WhatsApp, I just made a note of it. I wanted to say this to you.
Sure.
So these are the 2 points. I think overall the speech is good. You practice more. How's the daily video that you're doing? How's that going for you?
Yeah, it's going well, and I have been posted 2 days. After that, only I just went again through my commitment letter.
Yeah.
Today also, I made sure that before starting this session, I should post my video. So I posted my video, and then I came to the session.
Very nice. Very nice. Very good. Awesome. So Shweta, what I want you to do is I want you to just next, when you're telling a story from now, just move on a little, like take a verbal and visual pause.
Yes.
That phasing, these small nuances will take your storytelling to another level, I believe. And also, in the final session of Speakathon, when we did, I walked you through the 6 steps of storytelling. Do you remember that?
Yes.
You probably don't have the recording of that. We don't make the recording available in Speakathon, but because you're in Elite, if you guys want that entire recording, ask Kaushik. He will give you that storytelling method. I think some of you could not attend, or even if you did, just message Kaushik. Kaushik, will you be able to send it to them? Do you have that access to that last session of Speakathon where we spoke about the storytelling method? I think I took Anindita, and Anindita gave our speech right there, right in that moment with the 6 steps. If you remember, I was Diwali time, people were opening champagne bottles and my nurse was opening injection, right? Like it was saline bottles. So yeah, that portion will actually help you even more. So if you tell the same story, Shweta, using the 6 steps, it will take it to another level, starting with the situation and then the obstacle and the desire. I think it will take it to another level. Make sense? Cool.
Yes, makes sense.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Vishal.
Good job.
Thank you, Anindita.
Yes, awesome. Let's go to Subhish. Subhish, your speech. What are you speaking on today?
It's a suspense. I'm going to ask a question.
Suspense.
A question to the audience.
Okay. All right. Let's go then. Anytime you're ready, we are ready for you.
Yeah. So let's begin with a question. Now, before answering the question, I just want to keep 2 things. I want to say 2 things to you. Whatever comes to your mind, just answer it. Don't think too much, and try to use your heart, not your brain. And the second one is, there is no right or wrong here. Okay. So here's the question for you. Which phase of your life do you think is the best one? You can unmute and just shoot in the answers.
Yeah, my son born there. I
Excellent.
feel very proud.
Very good. Anyone else? Best phase in your life?
Speakathon journey was very good, and I guess Elite will be very good as well.
Great. That's great answer too. Anyone else?
Yeah, when Vishal asked me, I can join Elite, so that was a miracle point.
Okay, great. Yusuf, you want to shoot in some answer? Best phase of your life. Yeah, please.
When I become father, I think.
Great. So I can see a lot of, of course, some of them are similar answers, but everything is right. There's no wrong, right or wrong here, as I told you before. But according to me, the best phase of your life is when our parents are alive.
Hmm.
Hi there, good evening. This is Subhish Menon. And to all these amazing children here, I would like to take your 5 to 7 minutes to discuss with you the importance of our parents in our life so that you can start loving, connecting, and even remembering your parents in a better way. I normally call my parents during the weekends. So yesterday, I had a call with my parents. And unfortunately, there was a small fight going on between my father and my mother. For us, my sister and me, it is a small fight. I mean, it was a childish reason. The reason was like we are constructing a flat in our native place, and the issues with the where to put the puja room and all this stuff. It's for us, it's a childish. For them, it was so intense. And I'm normally, I don't talk too much to my father in the sense that we are friends, but I'm very afraid to give advice to him. But for my mother, I'm a motivational speaker. I keep on advising, and she's happy with that also. She keeps on listening and she implements. Sometimes I tell, okay, do meditation, do kind of journaling. She writes and stuff like that. It works for her as well. So she's very happy to hear me. But yesterday, when this conversation was going on, suddenly she started crying. And it was after a long time I've seen her crying. And the first words she spoke was that no one is loving me. And for me, I was really taken aback because I've never heard from my mother saying this for the first time, if I'm not wrong, but yeah, for the first time. And then what happened was I went into a listening mode. I started listening. I thought, it had really jumped out of my skin. And I knew that I was literally going on a wild goose chase, advising her again and again. It was not happening. So I just went to the listening mode, started hearing to her. And then I handed this phone to my wife and she listened. And then, yeah, we cut the phone as well. But after that, normally I have an afternoon nap. So I went to the bed. I was not able to sleep because I was thinking, I mean, what a son I am. I mean, they are there. This is the point of the time where I need to be physically and mentally present there, give them support, share with them, share their, hear their worries and give them some confidence and all those stuff. And I was thinking, I mean, I was literally depressed at this time and a lot of negative thoughts were coming. But again, I messaged my mom saying that we all love you. I remember what all things you did for me when I was a child. And you were special at that time. And normally what happens is because my father, the old fatherly figures who never, express things, but they take care of us. So he doesn't show too much emotions, but I know that he really loves her because 45 years they lived together. And initially my mother, when she was young, it was okay for her. But now with children not there, she was feeling that. So then I messaged her, I love you, mom, and all those stuff. And of course, she told it's fine, good night, and everything. So my message to you all is, I mean, I'm sure that most of your parents here may be retired or maybe old. I know Shweta's father recently passed away, but still you have the mother. And normally what happens is we keep on advising, right? And we do to our children also. But for children, they don't care, right? They are engaged with a lot of activities. But for parents, this is the only thing. For them, we are everything. For us, they may not be everything. So it's very important that we need to listen. Now, going back to my incident yesterday, I could have easily listened when my mother was expressing it, but I started advising, and I don't want to repeat it again. I want to just listen to her because I think that's the most important thing they require. So my suggestion, a small suggestion from my side is to you all is, if after this call, if your parents are alive, or just give a call to them. Maybe it's tonight, then you just put a message and you will see next morning, they will see your message and they will be so happy, right? You can even share any memorable incident which you had, which they would have forgotten, but you have it with you. Share. And also for those whose parents are not alive, I would suggest is when you go to sleep today, just remember their name every day. In fact, starting from today, just remember the name, and if possible, remember an incident, a happy or an inspirational incident, which is very close to your heart, and just go to sleep. I'm sure that you will have a great sleep, and the morning also you will be getting up with a lot of energy because you have got the blessings of your parents. Now, this brings me to a very famous quote from the movie Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, where I'm just literally translating the Hindi version to English, where it says that if you really want to do something in your life, follow your heart. But if you're not getting an answer, just close your eyes and remember your mother and father's name. And you will see that all your challenges, all your obstacles, all vanishing off. And you will be successful and you will reach your goal. So to all the amazing children here, if you want to be special, make your parents special. Thank you.
Very nice. Very good. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, let's ask Shweta. Shweta, what did you like in Subhish's speech overall?
I really like the way he structured the speech
Yeah.
and beautifully the storytelling he has done. So I really loved that thing, and he hooked up all of us together. We were like, it's especially the beginning, the way he asked the questions, and he took a twist, little twist there that now I'm going to talk about parents. So that was not expected from him, and that was a little twist. But what I want you to improve, Subhish, is one thing I always see you use pointing finger. So instead of using one pointing finger for you, if you use full hand, that will be really great, because that will give little kind of respect. I think nobody likes pointing fingers. So if you just show your audience with both hands that you can do, that will be really great. And the second suggestion from my end is, when you said Hindi version of Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, if you say in Hindi and then you translate it English, that will give you more audience connection, because the people who doesn't understand, they will also be connected. And then you're translating in English, so other audience which you are targeting, they will be also connected. So these
sorry, just to add, I tried my level best, but my Hindi is really poor, so I didn't want to really have that bad pronunciation. Pronunciation is important.
I think we both should be accountability partner for pronunciation, because you said yesterday was something yesterday. So I think we both can come together to improve.
But this particular pronunciation, I removed it.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah.
Nice. Very good. Cool. Here are some of my pointers. So when you, Subhish, I'm going to just tell you the quick points on what you can improve, because you have improved a lot. I'm going to tell you small nuances right now. Okay. First is, in English, the phrase "according to me" is held at a low standard of language generally. What we should say generally is "in my opinion." Meaning is same, but according to me is not good classy way of saying. According to Gandhi, yes. According to him, yes. But not according to me. It should be "in my opinion." Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Second, pronunciation about the word parents. You said pa. It should be pay. Okay. So say it with me. Pay. Just the word. Just the sound pay. Pay. Exactly. Parents. Now say it.
Parents.
Yes. It's not parents. No. Parents. Okay. Parents. How you could think about it is, you pay rent to stay in a rented house, right? So pay, rent, that's it. Parents. Say it now.
Pay rent. Parents.
There you go.
Parents.
You got it? That's the word. It's not parents. It's parents. Okay. Pay the rent, pay rent. Third is, I really liked when you said my mother started crying, and you sped up before that, like you were speeding up, and then you said my mother started crying. You emotionalized that moment. That was very well done. Okay. You said, my mother said, no one is loving me. So you took pause. You lowered your voice. Okay. That's a very important point. You did it very well. I also like that you used two conversational idioms: jump out of my skin and I went on a wild goose chase. Right? Very classy way of saying. You could say I got nervous, or you could say that I did not know what to do, but you said I went on a wild goose chase and I gave the phone to my wife. And the final thing is, when you are giving the speech, now these are just the smaller points. The final point I want to talk about is, I have seen a lot of people when they give a speech on, respect your parents and love your parents. Many times they fail in one point, is they forget to address the people who don't have parents, or they don't have one parent alive. So I was thinking in my mind, are you going to make that same mistake or not? Because here is what they say: oh, love your parents, and if you don't have parents, well, bad luck. Like, how offensive, how insensitive to say something like this, right? So you did not do that. You said, in case you don't have parents, well, go to bed thinking about their name. So that is very sensible and a very nice empathetic way of giving hope to those who might have lost a or both parents, or they don't have parents from a long time, right? When you talk about this, I also want to does that make sense to you? Like, this is a good thing. Shweta, does that make sense? Anindita, like, this is something to always keep in mind, is to think from complete audience's point of view. Now here is the point I want you to think about, Subhish. Get ready. This is something you might not have thought about before, and that's okay. This is from speech crafting point of view, not just what to say. Does everybody love their parents? Does everybody have a very good relationship with their parents? Does everybody think that my parents made a big impact in my life? Does everybody, is the question? No. Is it a possibility they are also in the audience sometimes?
Yes, sure.
So if you do not address that part, they think Gyan de raha hai, is giving wisdom. You don't know my situation. My parents are assholes. As a matter of fact, the day before yesterday, I met a friend who was telling me her father never took care of her until he needed money for his own treatment. So now if you give this advice that, go to your bed thinking about your father's name, she's not buying your bullshit. In her mind, it's bullshit. So how do you say that? You can say something like, now, so you are boxing three levels of people. One, parents are alive and somehow you have good relationship with the parents. Second box, parents are not alive, or one parent is not alive, but you still had good relationship with them. And third box, parents are alive or not alive, not good relationship with parents. You have to address this. How do you do that? You can say something like this. Now, maybe there are some of you here thinking, but Subhish, you don't understand my situation. I don't have something to feel grateful about to my parents. My father always tortured me. My mother never looked at me in the right way. Maybe they have given birth to me, but they're just my biological parents. And I say that to you right now. I have two assignments for you. First of all, forgive them. And number two, apart from those biological parents, who are one or two people that actually have loved you, can you go to bed tonight thinking positive about those people? Maybe it's your uncle, maybe it's a friend's father, maybe it's your elder brother. The people who have parented you and nourished you, people who make you feel good, why not go to bed thinking about them? Because they have nourished you. So in one way, you are their child, maybe not biologically, but soul level. And that is what I want to say. So if you have your parents, call them, message them, talk to them, listen to them. If you don't have your parents or a parent alive, go to bed thinking about them today. And if you did not have a very good relationship with your parents, no problem. Forgive those people and then think about the people who actually make you feel good and go to bed thinking about them. Boom. Now pause. Does that make sense to you, Subhish?
Yes, Bishal, I agree with that. Yes, we need to cater all the audience.
Right. Otherwise, people will feel excluded. They will not say, nobody's going to come and say that you don't know my situation. But in the mind, they'll say, yeah, but my situation is different. Yeah. I don't have very good relationship with my parents. What about me? This is how you address them. Make sense?
Yes.
This is the speech crafting that most people never think about because they can't see. They just say, yeah, good about parents, be a good child, be a good child. That's one level. The second level is what you did, which is, hey, in case you don't have your parents alive, here is what to do. And the third level is, in case you don't have a good relationship with your parents, here is what to do for that. Right?
Yes, Bishal. Great.
Good.
Thank you.
What was your biggest takeaway in today's your speech and the coaching and the feedback that you received now?
Actually, the last topic you talked about, you have to cater to all the audience. I mean, that's very important, very true, because they come with the same expectation, so they want something to take away from that also. That's we have to cater everyone.
Very nice. So,
That's the
before I
biggest.
move on to Anindita, who's the next speaker, what's the biggest improvement you see in the last couple of months as a speaker?
Uh,
One or two
I
biggest.
think
Yeah.
one thing which is I become more spontaneous. Like for example, this was almost 80% of the speech was spontaneous.
80%.
80%, yeah. So the story was there in me. Yesterday, incident came, and then I started, that same incident narrated, and then added to it. So spontaneous speaking is something I believe come through. Not
Very
only in
nice.
speech, but also when I'm talking to people. Also, I think that improvement as you can see.
In general conversations too. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Phone
Perfect.
conversation.
Awesome. Good to know, Subhish.
Thank
Keep
you.
practicing, and this is gonna take you to another level. Let's the final speaker for now, Anindita, and then we'll end with a public speaking meditation. I have another session at 8:30, another mastermind session. In case you guys have any questions, I'll hang around for 5-7 minutes. No worries. I'm happy to do that. So, Anindita, what's your speech topic?
How can we conserve nature?
Okay, good. The answer is yes. So let's hear from Anindita about can we conserve nature.
Okay, so how many of you today are feeling really stressed out? By the raise of your hands. So if you are feeling stressed out, you know what is the best antidote? The best antidote to exhaustion isn't rest, but it's nature. Whatever mood you are in, if you go near nature, you will feel calm and nice. And if you are in search of peace, the best answer is nature. There cannot be a second opinion. Hi everyone, this is Anindita Roy, and today in the next 4 to 5 minutes, I am going to share how to conserve nature so that we and our future generations can enjoy the beauty of nature from time to time and whatever nature has to offer. So, protecting our earth is the sole responsibility of each and every one of us. We often forget how much we are dependent on nature. For example, take our drinking water. Our drinking water comes from natural supplies. We don't have a manufacturing unit built with the latest technology to bring up artificial sources of water. Similarly, for air, we breathe in natural air which is oxygenated by plants, and we don't have any artificial sources for it. Let me tell you a short story. So once I was working with Deloitte few years back, and we used to have an impact day each year. In the impact day, we used to go to different communities, NGOs, where we used to contribute from our end to the communities in whatever ways we could. So the first time I went to a NGO for trust, for NGO trust for disabled people known as Samarthanam. There, as soon as I entered, I felt so good. I indulged in various activities with them. We performed many things. Overall, it was a great experience. So for the second time, I decided this time I'll go myself. I went on Ganesh Chaturthi, and there I distributed sweets to all the kids, the disabled kids, and I distributed stationery stuff. They were overjoyed, and that filled me with peace. Third time I went there, and I thought, let's do something creative. So we took many pots, we painted those pots, and we had many seeds. So after painting the spots, we put those seeds to grow into a sapling or plant. And along with those young children, it was a real surreal feeling. I came back with so much joy. How many of you here have taken steps to conserve the nature? If you haven't taken any step, do it today. Okay, so let me share 5 techniques on what you can start doing from today so that you can protect our earth. Number 1, conserve water. Often we are seen indulging in wasting water. Even our maids are reluctant and they let water flow by. We have to monitor all these activities and look into conservation of water. Number 2, use less of plastics and move to paper bags. Number 3, indulge or participate in river or beach cleaning activities. Number 4, use less of electricity. Whenever you are coming out of a room, turn off the lights if it is not required. Number 5, plant more trees and seeds and do not use pesticides. So if you follow these above techniques, you will become one step closer in conserving the nature. And you can do every little bit from your own side so that you can inspire others and you can gain the respect of others and you can enjoy a blissful nature. So I'd like to conclude by saying, whenever we are talking about preserving nature, it's not about only nature, but we are talking about preserving ourselves. Remember, we are either directly or indirectly associated with it. So the more sooner we understand this fact, the wiser it is for us. Because nature is the only source of our survival and our enjoyment too. Thank you.
Awesome. Very nice. Very nice. Very good. Just so you know, Anindita, so Anand recently planted 1,000 red sandalwood in his
Yeah, he told us. Yeah, I remember.
Anand, right?
Well done, Anand.
Yes.
Yes, Bishal. Yes.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Amazing. Great speech. Let's ask you first of all, Anindita, what did you like in your speech today?
What did I like? I guess I remembered all the points which I have noted down and I didn't forget any of those points.
Right, right, right. I think the biggest improvement that I see in you, and you guys can raise your hand if you agree, only if you agree, not Anindita, Anand, Yusuf, Subhish, that robotic rhythm is gone. How many of you agree that rhythm, by default, rhythm that she had all the time to speak, it is 98% gone, Anindita? Can you see that for yourself? Like, do you see that?
Yeah, I guess it is like I have improved on that area and there
Yeah.
is scope of more improvement.
Absolutely. So unlearning that, always my name is, the first point is gonna do this. The second point is that poetic rhythm that you had, that sometimes can work as can seem a little melodramatic. That is gone. Like most of it is completely gone right now. So it sounds more professional now. I liked how you slowed down when you was talking about point one and point two and point three and point four and point five, slowing down. Um, I think it's going to be a good idea that toward the end, not exactly at the end, but somewhere toward the end, let's say when the 90% of the speech is gone, to review the 5 points again. Because people forget the 5 points. If I ask most people what are the 5 points, maybe they remember one, two, or three, right? So review quickly. So let's quickly review. And then you can see, you can do this. It takes about 15 seconds if you think about it to review just the 5 points.
Yeah.
But it reminds people. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Right. So anytime you use any point between 3 to 5 points, if it's more than 1 or 2 points, remind and review toward the end,
Sure.
subtly, so people remember, and that's the goal. Another thing you could do in your speech, that you generally do a lot, but today it was a little missing. It is a bit more smiling, bit more smile on your face when you're talking about, especially something about nature. Um, I often tell it to people. In fact, just recently I was doing a training for a lot of people on, how to master your facial expressions and body language and stuff like that. So one of the ways is when we become good at something, oftentimes we think that does not matter anymore. For example, the smile. For example, 1, 2, and 3. Doing, because we think that's normal for us. Well, what's normal for us is abnormal for the audience, if you think about it. Like, they have not seen those things, so it can work as a genius. So smile a bit more. Smiling doesn't mean you're smiling all the time throughout the speech. A bit more, a bit more. Comfort should be there between you and the audience. You are very comfortable as a speaker, but for the audience to feel comfortable, that's why a little bit, humor or things like this can really help, and a bit more smile. Do you think you can use it? Is that a relatable feedback that you can use?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, very nice. See how she says that without any smile on it. Yes, definitely. Yes, good, nice, very good. Anindita, let me ask Subhish. Subhish, what is the biggest improvement you see in Anindita overall as a speaker in the last 4 or 5 months?
I think I felt that there was a good structure in her speech. Like, she's starting with a good introduction, like asking questions, and the conclusion also good. And the structure, especially today's speech also, I felt really structured. Like, she added her own example. She created credibility, which you had mentioned during SIB, that you need to give your own examples to really increase the credibility. And also after that, the points were there. So I think it was properly structured. So that's the biggest, I think, improvement I can see in Anindita's
Very
speech.
nice. Very nice.
Thank you,
Okay, so
Subhish.
yes, what we're gonna do now is we'll do a little bit of question answer for about 5 minutes. We don't have a lot of time after that. And then we'll do the public speaking progress meditation. It's a 13-minute long, and then exactly at 8:30 we end the session. Okay. So what we're gonna